Session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. As usual, let us start with the snippets. The very first one, SC tells Ajit to stand on his own legs. There is one important expression here. Especially for youngsters, this is important. When we tell someone stand on your own legs, means what? Be independent. It means don't depend on others, be independent. Have you got the meaning? An important expression you have to remember. Try to stand on your legs. Here we have a pic. What is it about? Curbs on tall claims. Government wants coaching centers. Here we have two words. One is tall claims, that is an idiomatic expression, and also curbs, another word. What is the meaning of, good morning to all of you. What is the meaning of curbs? Curbs means restrictions, limitations, restrictions. Curbs on something, control also you can say. Tall claims. Today if you take the coaching industry, there are mushroom growth of institutes, plethora of institutes. Mushroom growth means proliferation, sudden increase number of institutes, mushroom growth. Plethora of institutions, too many. Unfortunately, many institutes claim we are the number one, and many institutes claim we have got these many selections. Unfortunately, they are not actual results. They do a lot of things. This is not the platform to discuss. And I take a lot of pride. I work for CCE, SREEDHAR'S CCE. Whatever we say, authentic information. We provide the numbers and we give this, you can scan and get the entire list. We always come up with the most authentic information. But many institutes don't do that. They say we have got 100 selections. We announce proudly 13,000 something selections. What is the proof? We give you the entire list, our students' registered numbers. But many institutes, when they say we have got 100 selections, 200 selections, actual selections could be about 5 or 10. Then we use the expression tall claims. Tall claims definitely not acceptable, because young minds, if they don't know, they are not actually facts. They get carried away, they may get enrolled. And usually the youngsters, students who are preparing for competitive exams, job seekers, they belong to middle class or any upper middle class or lower middle class. And the parents' hard-earned money goes down the drain, or it goes to the dogs, means what? Goes waste. Because based on the claims they enroll, but actually they don't get what they deserve. This is a good step from the government, highly appreciable. Tall claims not acceptable. Good morning again to all of you. Let us go to the next one. Sri Lanka to head for booths today. So what do you understand from this? Sri Lanka parliamentary poll. Elections time, so heading for what? Booths today. Head means, head you all know, it's a noun, but here it has been used as a verb. What does it mean? Go in a particular direction. Headed towards the south means what? Going in the direction of the south. Next one, perfect cocktail. No fair play of layered discrimination. Discrimination norms hurt successful states. So many words to learn from one snippet. It's like a headline. What is the first one here? No fair play. If you take the word fair, F-A-I-R, it has many meanings, one thing. And you have to recollect another word. What is that word? Fair. F-A-I-R, fair goes with complexion, one meaning. Fair complexion, dark complexion. When it comes to complexion, we should not talk in terms of white or black, not the right words. We have to say fair complexion, dark complexion, one meaning. Another meaning of fair, she has been treated fairly, means what? Properly, in a just manner, fair treatment, just treatment. And FARE, fare, means what? The cost from one place to another place. How much is the fare from Hyderabad to Bombay? A different meaning altogether. And also, we are doing in a systematic way. Logan, don't be hasty. Listen to the analysis. We'll go in a systematic way. Otherwise, distraction. And one more meaning of the word fair, if you go to villages, once a week, they have a fair. Means what? All the farmers, whatever they produce, they bring to the market and they sell at a lower price usually. That is a village fair. Exactly. Who is this? Rajalakshmi, exactly. Santa, Telugu word. Now coming to the word cocktail. Cocktail is a word that goes with drinks. When 2 or 3 drinks are mixed, we use the term cocktail. But you have to know another word. What is that word? I will write here. Mocktail. Have you heard of this any time? Here you see the word cocktail, and here it is one word, mocktail. Let me join. Imagine these two, one word, mocktail. Cocktail, what is a mocktail? Murli, what does it mean? If you mix 2 or 3 different fruit juices, that is known as a mocktail. Different drinks are mixed, cocktail. Different fruit juices are mixed, mocktail. Next word, cocktail of layered discrimination. Discrimination is a negative word. What does it mean? To discriminate or show discrimination, in a way you show the prejudice, bias, persecution. Very good. All these words you have to think of. And the next word, norms, we have got many a time. Norms of the society, standard behavior expected from the society. Hurt. Tell me, why is it important, hurt? I have given many a time. In English, there are so many classifications when it comes to types of verbs. But one particular classification, based on that, we have 2 types of verbs. One is a regular, the other one irregular. What is a regular verb? A verb that takes D or ED to form the past and past participle forms. For example, jump, jumped, jumped. Walk, walked, walked. Smile, smiled, smiled. These are regular verbs. What is an irregular verb? An irregular verb is one that does not take D or ED. For example, go, went, gone, see, saw, seen. There we have words with the same forms, cut, 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 put, put, put. They also come under irregular verbs. And hurt also comes under. A lot of people say, movies also they show, I got hurted. Wrong. A lot of people think hurt, hurted, hurted. That is not right. I got hurt. Hurt, hurt, hurt. Along with this, you have to recollect some other verbs, same forms. Cast, cost, telecast, broadcast, forecast. Broadcast, telecast, forecast, they have given many a time in competitive exams. Same form. A common error, people tend to say the program was broadcasted by the BBC channel. Wrong. The program was broadcast. Same form. Let us go to the next one. The main headline, today's paper, Supreme Court puts brakes on bulldozer culture. Puts brakes, you can also say applies brakes on what? Bulldozer culture. This is a new expression, a buzzword. If you take certain states, especially the UP, Uttar Pradesh state, bulldozer culture. What does it mean? Razing, yes, Murli. You have to think of demolition of buildings using a bulldozer. Demolition of buildings, you have to think of raze, R-A-Z-E. R-A-G-E, anger, rage. Both are different words. And pull down, you have to think of that phrasal verb. Destroying homes, leaving families homeless, nothing short of anarchy, says Justice Gawai. There is one important word here. What is that? Anarchy. No, very good. Im Logan. I appreciate that. If you take anarchy, no order, no rule, no governance, no one to control, it is a chaotic situation. Then we use the word anarchy, out of control in a way. That's all from that headline, and let us see what is there. First, India-US Indian Ocean dialogue today. Indices, an important word. Answer my question. Indices, singular or plural? Index, plural form, either indices or indexes. Generally we say indices. Like that we have matrix, matrices. Toll in prison, riots in Ecuador rises to 17. The number, here it talks about the number, riots, clashes, rises. We have three words. Death toll means what? The number of deaths we use at the time of the accident or a natural disaster. And what is the next one here? Riots means what? Clashes. And the next one, rise, we have got many a time. I don't have to tell you guys. There is a beautiful pic over here. Let us see what it says. Festive glow. Everything is glowing, you can make out. But what is this about? Diwali is over. People light earthen lamps on the banks of the Yamuna in New Delhi on Wednesday as part of Delhi Deepotsav ahead of the Dev Deepavali festival, which will be celebrated on Friday. Over 3 lakh lamps have been lit on the banks. It is all about lighting lamps, but exam point of view, English proficiency point of view, something is there to learn. First, before a river, we have to use a definite article the. The Ganges, the Yamuna, the Godavari. Before any river, we have to use a definite article the. That you have to recollect. On the banks, the preposition, it is a phrase, a prepositional phrase. Here, light, lit. What is the past form? Lit. L-I-G-H-T can be a noun, can be a verb. Past form, lit. Past participle also lit. Next we have which will be celebrated. Answer my question. Which will be celebrated. Which tense is that? And active voice or passive voice? We will celebrate the festival. The festival will be celebrated. Future, passive voice. Good, Rajalakshmi and others also. Immediate response. And over 3 lakh lamps have been lit. Answer this question. Have been lit. Which tense? And active voice or passive voice? We have lit so many lamps. So many lamps have been lit by us. It is a present perfect passive voice. One is in future, the other one is in present perfect. Very good. I appreciate your response. 20 additional companies or forces rushed to Manipur. Today's editorial, if you take the short editorials, one goes with consumer price index, fully based on data. You cannot learn a lot. The other one about the disturbance in the state of Manipur. I have brought that one. So many words and patterns you can learn. Jharkhand records over 66% turnout. Wayanad sees 64.24%. By-elections, elections and turnout. Whenever we have elections, large number of people go cast the vote. Then we use the expression turnout. Good morning, Prasad Lanka. Rather late. Let us go to the next one. Musk, Ramaswamy to be Trump's advisors. British writer Harvey wins Booker Prize for space story penned during pandemic. One more advantage that goes with reading the Hindu paper. Beyond any doubt, no second thoughts, you can improve your English proficiency. That is the first and the most important thing, because English plays a crucial role when it comes to the selection, any competitive exam. Second advantage, when you read the headlines or when you go to the paper, you are in touch with current affairs. Exactly, Kavya, very good. You got it. And you can keep yourself abreast of the latest developments. I've used one idiomatic expression. Keep yourself abreast of the latest developments. Means you can keep in touch with the current affairs. Definitely, it is like you can improve your English, and it comes under current affairs. An important aspect you have to remember. That is the best part. British writer Harvey wins Booker Prize for space story. What is it about? Rather interesting. Space story. And penned means written when. Penned here means written during pandemic. That's all about. From the headlines, let us go to the editorial. Today's editorial completely based on vocab. About 16 words I could see. Keeping the time factor in mind, I have brought about 11 words. Other words we have got many a time. As usual, we start the session with the question. What is enrichment? When you spend about 30 minutes or 40 minutes with me, what are you going to learn? What is the benefit? You will improve your reading comprehension skill. Along with that, contextual awareness. Today, especially, a lot of words you can improve your effective vocabulary, enrich your word power, consolidate your grammar, effective English, mini mocks, vocab consolidation. Whatever words you got yesterday, you are going to consolidate today. What is the first word? Misery. But you have to recollect the word miser and the word stingy. Some people are rich, but they don't spend money. Even for 1 rupee, they think twice. What is the word for those people? Old English, we would say miser. He's a miser. But modern English, nowadays, we don't use the word miser, we use the word stingy. No, miser, stingy, negative words. I will write those also. These are like, in a way, negative. Someone has a lot of money, thinks twice before spending. We use the word frugal. We also use the word thrifty. These are positive words. Frugal, thrifty. I will definitely this weekend. Last weekend we had conducted one exam, so I could not take. This weekend definitely I will do that. And coming to the other side, some people spend money. Before they spend, they think twice. Then we say frugal or thrifty. But some people spend without thinking and they spend spontaneously. Then we use words like, a few important words are there. One is lavish. The other one, extravagant. Then you have spendthrift. Thrifty is positive. Spendthrift, negative. And we also have the word prodigal. This word you have to be careful. What is the reason? Prodigy, a positive word. Child prodigy, a positive word. But prodigal, negative word. So all these are negative words. He spends money lavishly. He spends money extravagantly. He is a spendthrift. He is a prodigal. All they have given so many times, different competitive exams. Misery, but misery is a different word altogether. Part of speech noun, a state of great suffering or unhappiness. Example, imagine someone is in a state where so much unhappiness he or she has to face. We use the word misery. We also use the word form miserable. Miserable situation. The prolonged conflict has only added to the misery of those displaced from their homes. There's an important word here. Because of the war, usually a war. Many people get displaced, means they lose their houses, they lose their homes, and they get displaced. That adds to the misery. Means what? They suffer a lot. Distress, we have got many a time. Suffering, anguish, hardship. Hardships means problems. Problems, they could be, you can also say financial hardships, means what? Problems. And anguish means a severe pain, agony, anguish, acute pain. All these are important words. Antonyms: joy, happiness, comfort, relief. Militants. I'm sure many of you know this word, but still I thought, part of speech, noun. People who use aggressive or violent tactics, often for political or ideological causes. Some people have certain ideologies, and to make their ideologies come true, they resort to violence, they take to weapons. Then we use the word militants. The militants clashed with government forces during the protest. Extremists, rebels, insurgents, combatants. Insurgency is a problem, and sometimes you may get as a passage. Insurgency. Some people try to revolt, then we say insurgency. Peacemakers, pacifists. This is an important word. They have given in banks, SSC, many a time. Who is a pacifist? A person who doesn't want war. Some people, they don't want war at any cost. Then what is the word we use? Pacifist. Pulverize, an important word. Part of speech verb, to crush or destroy completely. Look at the example. The powerful waves pulverize the rocks along the coastline. To crush or completely. But usually, very good, a person who doesn't want war, pacifist. I tell students, pulverize means to crush. And there's one important combination. What is that? Please write this is very important. Pulverizing confidence. Some people are very confident. Then we say he has pulverizing confidence. Crushing confidence means extremely confident. Vandalize has a different meaning, not in this context. Okay, based on this, perhaps you have come up with that word. What are the synonyms? Crush, shatter, demolish, obliterate. Antonyms: preserve, build, construct, protect. Ethnic, this is also a familiar word. Ethnic tribes, ethnic culture, ethnic fashion means belonging to a particular community which follows the traditions, relating to a group with a common cultural, linguistic, or national heritage. Ethnic diversity is one of the defining features of the country. India is known for what? Unity in diversity. We have so many cultures, we have so many religions, we have so many different things. Still, we are united as a country. So how do we address India? India is a country known for unity in diversity. That's an important expression. Synonyms: cultural, racial, tribal, and antonyms: non-racial, non-ethnic. Militia. Militants, one thing, militia, a different word. Part of speech, noun, a group of citizens organized for military service, often in opposition to regular forces. Group of citizens organized for military service. We use the word militia. And they are not the same, often in opposition to regular forces. The militia was formed to defend the village from attacks. Imagine a particular village has some problems. Then some people form a group to defend the village. Then we use the word militia, to protect the village. Armed forces, military, paramilitary, army. Civilians, pacifists, peacemakers. Same words again. Vicinity. It takes a preposition in the vicinity. Part of speech, noun. The area near or surrounding a particular place. Imagine there is a building What is there in the vicinity? Means what is there near that building. An important word you guys have to know. There were several shops and restaurants in the vicinity of the hotel. Imagine there is a star hotel. In the vicinity of the star hotel, many shops are there. Area, neighborhood, locality, region. Distance, remoteness, far off. Face the brunt. Usually we use the verb bear. Bear the brunt. Oh, thank you. Glad to know that, Ramakrishna. Good. You're welcome, anytime. Coming to bear the brunt, face the brunt. Important idiom. What does it mean? See, here we have the word. To bear the worst part of something unpleasant. Imagine something unpleasant is there. Someone has to bear the maximum part of that unpleasant thing. Then we say he had to bear the brunt. He has to bear the brunt. Means he has to bear that unpleasant thing to the maximum extent. Civilians often face the brunt of conflicts and unrest. Whenever there are clashes, innocent people get affected. They have to bear the brunt. Bear the burden, endure, suffer, take the impact. Escape, avoid, evade. Evade is an important word. Meaning is the same. Escape or avoid. Loot. I think I gave this word last week. I also gave another word. Loot, one thing, plunder. A subtle difference. What is the difference between the two? Loot and plunder. Loot, let us see the meaning of that particular thing. Part of speech verb. To steal goods from a place, especially during a war or riot. Imagine there are clashes. There is a war or clashes. The crowd becomes unruly, the mob. What they do, they attack the shops. They enter the shops. Whatever they can get, they try to steal that. That is known as looting. The shop has been looted by the crowd or the mob. Rioters began to loot stores after the protest turned violent. Usually that's what happens. Initially the protest peaceful, but at some point something goes wrong, it turns violent, then we use, then we use this, loot. Plunder means a particular enemy invades a country. That time they take the treasures of that country. If the treasures of a particular country are taken, then we use the word plunder. The country has been plundered. Subtle difference. See, it is there, but usage is important. Steal, simple word. Pillage, rob. Protect, guard, return, give. If someone steals a small quantities regularly, that is known as pilferage. What is it called? Murli, very good. Before I could turn, you have come up with that word. That's wonderful. I appreciate. Pilferage. To steal small quantities regularly. Quell. Part of speech verb. To suppress or put an end to something, often by force. You control something. The government took swift action to quell the uprising. Suppress, subdue, pacify, silence. Incite, provoke, encourage, stir up. We have got these words many a time. Partisan. This also we have got. Adjective. Showing strong support for a particular side or cause, often with bias. You support someone or something, that is known as partisan approach. His comments were seen as partisan, favoring one group over the other. Biased, one-sided, partial, prejudiced. Neutral, impartial, unbiased, fair. The last word, I suppose, nudge, part of speech verb. To gently push someone or something, often to encourage a desired action. Slightly you push someone to do something, nudge. The teacher tried to nudge her students toward completing the projects on time. Encourage, prompt, prod, coax. Antonyms: deter, discourage, dissuade, pull. So many words from today's editorial. It has taken almost 20 minutes. It is now 9:30. Let us go to the editorial. How does it start? And what is the stimulus? Manipur's misery on the need for the center to act. Manipur have done a few editorials, clashes between two tribes and so much unrest. Again, something happened. Based on that, that is the stimulus to write this editorial. What is the main idea? The center must take the initiative in resolving the crisis. This is the obligation imposed by the editorial, obligation imposed by the writer. Must. Personal obligation to convey the idea something is compulsory. The center must take what? The initiative in resolving the crisis. Crisis singular, respond what is the plural of crisis? And initiative. If you take the initiative before someone tells you, then what is the word for you? There's an important word. What is that? We say you are proactive. Today companies want proactive employees. Proactive. We should have that proactive nature. Crisis singular, crisis plural. Very good. Chandu, Venkatesh, others also. I appreciate. Resolve, find a solution. What is the tone of the editorial? The tone of the editorial is urgent and critical. So many people are dying, they have already died. Urgent and critical. Let us see how it starts, what exactly happened. 10 armed militants were killed in an encounter with the Central Reserve Police Force, CRPF, and the police on Monday, November 11, 2024, in Manipur's Jiribam district, as ethnic conflict continues to pulverize the state, crush the state. Ethnic conflict. As I said, Manipur, there are two tribes, clashes between the two tribes, and this talks about what happened on Monday, November 11th. 10 armed militants were killed in an encounter with the CRPF and the police on Monday, November 11, 2024. Where exactly they got killed? In Manipur's Jiribam district. Why did it happen? As ethnic conflict continues to pulverize the state, they still have that problem. Pulverize means to crush, destroy. Officials said the deaths took place took place in retaliatory firing after the militia attacked security personnel and internally displaced the people sheltered in the vicinity. Why did it happen? This sentence gives us a reason. Why did it happen? Officials said that deaths took place in retaliatory firing. Imagine the militia, the villagers with arms, they attacked the CRPF. Obviously, the CRPF has to retaliate. In that retaliatory fire, those people died, 10 of them. And also attacked the security personnel and internally displaced the people sheltered in the vicinity. Women who got displaced, women, children, and the elderly have been facing the brunt of the violence that began in May 2023. When did the trouble begin? Way back in May 2023. And who are the worst sufferers? Women, children, and the elderly have been facing. Answer my question, which tense is this? All the three groups, women, children, elderly, have been facing. Which tense? Present perfect continuous. Very good. Active voice. The brunt of the violence that began in May 2023. So far, how many people got killed? More than 250 people have been killed and 60,000 displaced since the conflict between Meitei and Kuki-Zo communities began. The two communities, the clashes between the two. And whenever you see the word since or for, you have to think of two tenses. What are the two tenses? One is a present perfect, the other one is present perfect continuous. Here we have more than 250 people have been killed. Answer my question, is it active voice or passive voice? They have killed more than 250 people. More than 250 people have been killed. That means passive voice. Very good. 3 women and 3 children, including an 8-month-old infant, were allegedly abducted. This word also. allege, allegedly, allegation, accusation. Say someone has done something wrong without proof or evidence. And abduct means kidnap. Kidnap, you have to think of the word ransom. Here, women and 3 children, including an 8-month-old infant, were allegedly abducted, and 2 elderly persons were burned to death. Very unfortunate. On Monday, November 11, 2024, in Jiribam. The details regarding the incident. The victims were among the 13 Meitei people who were already displaced from their homes in June. They belong to those who have been already displaced. 2 of the 10 weapons found at the encounter site had been looted from the police. When I did last time one editorial, it was about the local people attacking the police station, looting the weapons. It talks about the same thing. At the encounter, that particular place, they found some weapons. And these weapons had been looted. Which tense is that? Past perfect, passive voice. First action. Had been looted from the police. An indication of the serious governance crisis in the state. If people go and loot the police stations, definitely governance issue is there, not acceptable. The Cookie Students Organization, students, here we have a plural noun ending in the letter S. We have to use the apostrophe after the letter S. That is very important because a common error, outside you see something like this. Please respond, is this right or wrong? If you write girls hostel this way, it is wrong. What is the reason? Here we have the noun, a plural noun. What is it? Girls. It ends in the letter S. Then we have to use the apostrophe after the letter S, not before. So how should we write that? Girls, plural noun, after that apostrophe, hostel. The same way here, students organization has called for. We have one important phrasal verb. It is in present perfect. Call for means what? Demand. The Cookie Students Organization has called for, has demanded non-cooperation with the CRPF, claiming that the militiamen were on a security patrol. They have some objections with problem with militiamen. They were on a security patrol, an important word. You all know patrol, patrol. The second syllable has to be stressed. Spelling is different, that's a different thing. The Bharatiya Janata Party state government led by Chief Minister and Byron Singh has been unable, again we have present perfect, but active voice, has been unable to quell, crush or control the violence or reassure the Cookie communities that consider him to be partisan. The Cookies consider the Chief Minister to be partisan, means prejudiced. The CM has a bias. He could not give that reassurance that he is not partial, he does not have any prejudice against anyone. That leaves the entire responsibility because the Chief Minister could not do something. 2 things. One, he could not quell the violence, he could not reassure the Cookie tribes that he is not partisan. Based on this scenario, the center has to play a vital role. Now the main idea you will come across, that leaves the entire responsibility of managing the conflict on the shoulders of the center. Because the state government hasn't done and not able to do, now the onus means what? Responsibility is with the center. In October, the Ministry of Home Affairs organized a meeting with political representatives of both the Cookie and Meitei communities, but no meaningful progress towards peace could be achieved. They could not achieve any peace. Could not be achieved means what? Passive voice again. Cookie outfits are demanding the creation of a union territory with a legislature which will require a division of Manipur. What is the demand of Cookie outfits? Here outfits means organizations. They want a separate union territory with a legislature which will require a division of Manipur. If the center accedes to that proposal, Manipur will be divided. Ethnic relations in India's northeast are extremely complex and violence once it erupts, can continue for a long spell. Here you have to take a pause. Ethnic relations in India's northeast are extremely complex, and violence, once it erupts, can continue for a long spell. We have come across many a time dry spell. What is the meaning of dry spell? Imagine no rains for some time. We use a word. There's one word. What is that word? Drought. We also say dry spell. But here, very good. I appreciate that, Venkatesh. And we can also say dry spell. But here, what is it? Long spell. Kuki representatives continue to express hope in intervention by the center. They want the center to intervene, to resolve the conflict, and that is an opportunity which the center must vigorously utilize. Here, vigorously means actively. Central police forces and the Indian Army are also largely trusted by the Kuki. They trust the central agencies, they trust the army, but for the recent incident, notwithstanding means don't consider the recent incident, notwithstanding the incident involving the CRPF this week. Otherwise, they trust the central forces, they trust the army. In a porous border region, porous means something that allows certain things to pass from one side to the other side. Usually it goes with a porous layer, a porous border. Means things can move from this side to that side and this side to porous, allowing substances to move from one side to the other side. In a porous border region populated by numerous armed militia groups, policing alone cannot restore peace and order. When we have so many militia groups, policing alone cannot be the solution. Not practically possible, it's an uphill task. A lasting end to the violence can be brought. We can bring lasting solution, active voice. Lasting solution can be brought, passive voice. A lasting end to the violence can be brought about only through a political arrangement of accommodation and the coexistence of communities. That is very important. Only the center has the resources. Here, the center has the resources. Which tense is that? Please respond. Only the center has the resources. It is present tense. What does it talk about? It talks about possession. And possession, if you take the primary auxiliary have, it has one function, three meanings. What are the three meanings? Eat, drink, possess. People make a mistake when it comes to possession. I am having breakfast means what? I am eating breakfast. I am having coffee means what? I am drinking coffee. Using the same pattern, they tend to say, I am having a brother. That is wrong. It means you are eating your brother, which is not advisable and it is not possible also. I am having a car, practically not possible. So what are they supposed to do? What are they supposed to say? I have a brother, I have a sister, I have a car. So when it comes to the primary auxiliary have, if you want to convey the meaning possession, do remember we cannot use it in ing form or present participle form. Has the resources and the capacity to attempt that. The same stand is being reiterated. What is the stand taken by the editorial? Because the state government has failed. The center, the onus is on the center, and the center has a potential, it has the resources to find a solution. Capacity to attempt that. The fresh surge in violence is a setback. What is the meaning of surge? Sudden forward movement, sudden increase. Setback, some negative thing. The fresh surge in violence is a setback, but the center must step up its efforts, increase its efforts to nudge, push the Meitei and the Kuki communities towards peace, persuade them towards peace. That's all, I suppose. Let us check. Yes. Let us go to comprehension skill, listening skill. Try to answer the first one. Failure, yes. What is the primary reason cited in the editorial for the central government's involvement in resolving the crisis in Manipur? Why should the center come into picture? The state government has sufficient resources. The state government is seen as impartial by both. The central government has the necessary resources and capacity to mediate and stabilize the region. What is the answer here? The third one is the answer. According to the editorial, what action did the Ministry of Home Affairs take in October regarding the Manipur crisis? Implemented peacekeeping operation with no. It organized a meeting with political representatives of both the groups. Answer is B. You don't have to go beyond that. Which of the following incidents is mentioned in the editorial as evidence of a governance crisis in Manipur? Editorial has taken a stand. What is that? It has taken a stand that the state government has failed. Based on that, it says the center has to intervene. Good, I appreciate that. The abduction of Kuki representatives? No. The looting of weapons from the police by armed militants? All these not acceptable. What is the answer? Yes. Now, you are welcome anytime, banking warrior. We are here to enrich your knowledge. We are here to improve your knowledge and also improve your proficiency in English. If you attend regularly, you can see phenomenal improvement, substantial improvement. No second thoughts about that. What is the editorial stance on the state government's role in the ongoing violence in Manipur? State government's role failed. Effective? No. Struggling to quell the violence and reassure the Kuki communities? Hold this one. Has fully resolved? No. No responsibility? No. So what is it? They are not able to manage the problem. They are struggling. That's why the editorial wants the center to come in. How does the editorial describe the Kuki community's view of central forces like the CRPF and Indian Army? Kuki forces like them, and it is something positive. What is the first one? Negative word? No. Largely trusting, with some recent incidents causing concern. But for the recent incidents, they trust the CRPF and also Indian Army. Today I haven't brought errors, but I have brought new useful questions. Scrambled sentences. Scrambled, what is a scrambled sentence? What is a para jumble? Para is a short form of paragraph. Jumble means to mix up. Para jumble means the sentence is in a paragraph mixed, shuffled. Scrambled sentence, we take a lengthy sentence and the parts are shuffled. Oh, you have answered within no time, Uday Kumar. Saudi Arabia has what? Has enough mineable uranium ore reserves to pave the way, an important one, for the domestic production of nuclear fuel. So what is the correct order? First one is A. What is the second one here? C, B, and D. Very good, I appreciate that. Next one. Researchers characterized the dyslexia. You cannot start with that. Let us start with the time phrase and see how it goes. In the late 19th century, researchers characterized the dyslexia as a disorder that only affects intelligent children with literacy difficulties, a myth that persists to this day. So what is the first one here? D, then we have A and C and B. Have you got D, A, C, B? Wonderful. Before I could turn, ready with the answer. That's highly appreciable. Let us see the next one. Anxiety and uncertainty in the face of, to know. In the face of the massive upheaval, it can be really tough for leaders to know how to keep up staff morale. No, you cannot. Here we have a comma. In the face of the massive upheaval anxiety, anxiety caused by COVID-19, it can be really tough for leaders to know how to keep up staff morale. BADC, not BD. Here, look at this. In the face of the massive upheaval, anxiety, and uncertainty caused by COVID-19, it can be really tough for leaders to know how to keep up staff morale. Morale, an important word. What does it mean? Your confidence, your self-esteem in a particular situation, especially when you are in distress. And when you don't have the right morale, someone comes and gives a pep talk, then you get back that confidence or the spirit or the motivation. We have confusing words. These are quite challenging. After coming back to work, she to her health problems but wasn't specific. We have two words which come under confusing words. You have to select. All the three correct. Wonderful. Imlogan. Highly appreciable. Answer these confusing words. First sentence, here you have to know the meanings, otherwise you cannot. Allude means indirect reference. Indirect reference. Once you know the meaning, they become easy. For the first sentence, we have to use allude. Means she alluded to her health problems, means indirectly referred to. He was able to elude arrest with the help of his lawyer, means escape, avoid. Next one. She spoke for 20 minutes and then took questions from the audience. She spoke, what are the two words here? Continuously, continually. Very difficult. Continuously without a break. Continually means at regular intervals. At regular intervals. Now you tell me, continually or continuously? Here we have to use continuously for 20 minutes. The employee training manual is continually being updated, means at regular intervals being updated. Second one, continually. First one, continuously. One should not speak ill of the deceased. Here, deceased, regular word. And what is the meaning of this? Dead person. Deceased person means a dead person. One should not speak ill of the deceased, means those who passed away, we should not speak bad about them. And deceased population was quarantined to avoid further outbreak. We will revenge lower level. Higher level, we use the word avenge. Here, someone's death, we cannot use the word revenge, we have to use the word avenge. Next one, he was so blinded by a desire to get revenge. Yes. Challenging for beginners, yes, I do agree. And here you are not under pressure, but for the time factor because it's a live session. But same questions, imagine in the exam. In the exam, you're under tremendous pressure and these are not easy to handle. That's why they have given many a time we have an exam topic, confusing words. We got 9 words yesterday. Deteriorate, to go down. Row, a conflict, a dispute, a problem, an argument, all these. Consular, related to foreign affairs. Intimidate, frighten, cowardly, act, means not brave. Diaspora, people who migrate from a country to another country, we use the word diaspora. Insulate, protect, turmoil, disturbance, fractious, irritable. That's all about today's session. I hope you guys have got enriched. And after the session, we'll provide the PDF, try to work on important words. Have a nice day. Thank you very much. Okay.